Here with Concordia head women's basketball coach Drew Olson to preview the 2018-19 season, and as we record this, the first official game a little bit over a week away, coming up at Viterbo. So you come into this season, been to the national semifinals 3 of the last 4 years and 4 of the last 7. How do you keep your program and even yourself from maybe taking for granted just what it takes to be able to do that on a consistent basis?
I think we have a lot of intrinsic motivation. I mean, we pride ourselves in being an elite team, and we want to keep that standard up there. And I think our kids are highly motivated, especially since we haven't reached the ultimate goal. So we know that there's still more that we've got to accomplish.
You're in an enviable position to have a couple of All-Americans returning this year with Philly and Quinn. Let's start with Philly Lammers, who was first team last year as a sophomore. We've seen her dominate games even when she hasn't had much experience at the college level. I mean, is there really another level that she can reach? What are the things she can actually do better?
Yeah, Philly's a phenomenal player on both ends, and I think she just allows us to do a lot of different things. She's been working a lot on kind of like her perimeter game just to expand a little bit, but she's going to be a dominant force inside for us again.
And moving on to Quinn Reynolds, she's one of your seniors, obviously another huge part of what you've been able to accomplish the past few seasons. What's the next evolution in her game, and what have you seen in her maybe development-wise as a leader too?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing for Quinn this year, is just kind of stepping up into that leadership role, being the kind of solid rock that we need, and she's been great so far. And as far as her game, like, you know, we're asking her to continue to be aggressive and also kind of expand her game too. Maybe shoot a little bit more from the perimeter, but she's just such a steady kid that doesn't get fazed by a whole lot.
Maybe one of maybe the best or one of the best front courts at this level with those two. And I know you have a lot of options in the backcourt too. You've never been afraid to play a lot of people off the bench. How do you plan to operate with your backcourt as well?
Well, we've got a kind of big dynamic group with a lot of young kids that can play, so it'll be interesting to see how we use our depth. But as far as the backcourt, I'm really impressed by Taylor Cockrell and her development over the summer. She's just a little bit stronger and more explosive, and I think Mac Hellman's kind of taken on a little bit more of a shooter's role, but both of those kids are really ready to take another step forward. I think adding Grace Berry to our group, a transfer from UNK, she's a phenomenal player that can allow us to do a lot of things offensively. And then I think Riley Sybil's gonna be a big impact for us this year. She's a great defender and can really shoot it. So.
And maybe you can expand a little bit on Grace Berry, a transfer from UNK. Why is she a good fit for this program and this team?
I think it's a great fit both ways. I mean, she needs to be cut loose, allowed to do what she does, and in our style of play, I think she's going to have that kind of freedom, and she's got a little bit of flash to her, but she's just so creative and can get other people's shots. It's a matter of getting her to want to be aggressive and be a scorer too. And I think once she does that, she's going to be a complete player.
And you've already seen some good things, it sounds like, from at least one of your freshmen. What does LCS Leeson bring to the table?
She's a really fun player because I mean, she's 6'2", but she can play both inside and out. And I think she's got a lot of upside. Once she kind of understands what we're doing and gets that confidence, she's going to be a really good player for us.
And you mentioned Grace Berry and Taylor Cockrell are options in the point guard, and maybe Mackenzie Hellman has been a little bit unsung but it seemed like she really took to the starting role well last year.
Yeah, Mac was awesome last year. She was our starting point guard. Just with Grace coming in, we felt like max strengths are her shooting ability, and so we've moved her to an off guard, but she can definitely play point guard if we need her to. It gives us a little bit more versatility, and we want to push the tempo, so pretty much anybody's allowed to push it, so she'll have her opportunities as a point guard too.
And Colby Novell's probably another one who doesn't get as much acclaim when you've got Philly and Quinn as All-Americans, but obviously Colby's not necessarily the big scorer, but she does a lot of little things. How vital is it to have players like her that do some of those little things?
Well, she's huge for our team, and I think from an outsider, she's the one that gets overlooked because of those things. But her unselfishness, her leadership, her vocal leadership, and just all the little things that she does when she's on the floor, getting the hustle plays, little putbacks, offensive rebounds. I mean, she's a huge piece to our team.
And every year, I think in order to maintain that deep bench that you like to have, you have some players that have been in the program that step up. And you mentioned Riley Sybil maybe fits into that category, but who else maybe as players that have been in the program?
Yeah, I think Taryn is another one that, she's going to have her moments this season that really help us win games. She can shoot it. She's really becoming a good defender in our zone, and so I think she's going to help us too.
And every year you have to kind of figure out what this mix does well together and how to best put them in positions to succeed. How has that process gone, just in figuring out how to maximize this group?
I think it's still going. We're still trying to figure it out. I mean, defensively, we can do a lot of things. It's just, what are we going to be great at? And what is our identity going to be in that regard? But last year was kind of interesting because we really didn't have an identity other than the fact that we could adapt really well. 2 years ago, we were just strictly zone, and so I don't know what this team is going to be like, but I know we'll find a way to get it done defensively. And offensively, we'll continue to play our style, a lot of pace, and attack people. So.
As we record this, the night before, you got to see your team in some live action, some scrimmages. What were some of the things that stood out to you from that?
I think the biggest thing was just that we really could kind of buckle down defensively when we needed it. I was really impressed with our competitiveness. Offensively, we can score. It's just a matter of, are we going to defend like we need to.
And I know it was recently announced that the NAI is going back to one division for basketball. How does that change anything for you and your program, if at all?
Not really a whole lot. I mean, we're 2 years away from that, and I don't know what the dynamic's going to be with how to qualify for postseason and that stuff. But really, we go about our business, and we're ready to play anybody at any time.